nitrification in the BOD test. So when we conducting the BOD test, that time nitrification also taking place while doing the BOD test, and this is just because there is a formation of the non-carbonaceous matter which are present there, and because of that one, the nitrification reaction taking place. Okay, and that is the one of the reason that we have we are taking the time period for this BOD test is 5 days. Let's, with the help of the graph and all, we will look about it, how this is the nitrification is impacting, and we will get some wrong, what we call the concentration of the organic matter present in it. Okay, because we are correlate the organic matter with the dissolved oxygen present in it, and if some of the oxygen is used while in the nitrification reaction, then definitely we will not get a corrected the organic matter concentration in the sample. Okay, so which are the non-carbonaceous matter? So we can say it is ammonia. So that is one of the the component which is produced during the hydrolysis of the protein. So obviously, when there is a microorganisms, definitely there is a protein, and because of that one, there is a formation of the ammonia in the test, or we call it in a wastewater too. So that is one of the things. Other things, it may have the living things which are dyes, excreta, the waste, and the nitrogen organic compounds are the other component which are present in it. And there is a the because of this one, the formation of this ammonia and the nitrification is carried out. So let's see. So what is the reaction? So here on the screen, it will show some reactions between the ammonia and how the nitrification is carried out. So if there is a formation of the ammonia with the help of this some matter which is present in it, and the oxygen is required. So nitrification is what? Some of the oxygen which is present in the sample that is consumed for the nitrification, and there is a formation of something, some components here which is mentioned on this one. Okay, and yes, that is the one of the reason that I said that one thing is what the when we say that why we are conducting a 5 day test, why not we conducting for the 7 days or for the 10 days? Even we have the one graph that we are plotted between the 20 days time period and how much is the BOD consumption, or how much is the organic matter is consumed during these 20 days, and we found the one is the rate constant. We got a rate constant in that case. It is up to the 5. It is very high. So rate of reaction and decomposition, what we call the speed, it will be the high in the first 5 days. That is one of the reason. Second reason that we are conducting the test for the 5 days is that the oxygen demand. That's like there is a organic matter containing the nitrogen. If it is having the nitrogen, will have a oxygen requirement for the nitrification. As mentioned in this reaction, you will see that the oxygen molecule is important for the nitrification, right? So in this case, what happened? As because of the some ammonia content present, and there is a formation of the nitrification, and yes, that reaction consumes the oxygen which is present in it, and because of that, what happened? And that possibly mostly is carried out when it is a day from the 6 days. Okay, if you see, due to the low growth rate of nitrifying bacteria, this BOD demand normally occurs from 6 to 10 days. It means initially they are not converting the nitrogen, they are not, there is no nitrification reaction is carried out in the first 5 days, but after the 6 days definitely there is a this reaction is carried out. Okay, with the help of the figure we will look about it. Okay, so that is one of the reason that we have incubation period that for the BOD test, it will be the 5 day that we are fixed. Another thing that we have that incidentally there is a one 5 day period was chosen for the test because there is a one Thames river and which require a 5 day from the its origin to the join the sea. So that one theme river is there, and it is required to reach to the sea. It will be the 5 days, and incidentally, we can say that a 5 day test for the a BOD, that how much oxygen is demand during these 5 days. Okay, so we are not saying that is the one of the reason, but technical reason is that two reasons. One is that we got a high rate constant, and the second, a nitrification is occur after the 6 days. So before the up to the 5 days, you will get a corrected data of how much organic matter is present on the basis of the dissolved oxygen consumption. Okay, you look this nitrification during the BOD. If you see that the one graph, okay, so this is the x-axis is showing the time, and the y-axis it is oxygen consumption per oxygen consumed milligram per liter, and the time in days. Okay, so you see this is the one graph which show the how much oxygen is consumed in the in these days. So here you look at a 5 day, 15, 10, 20, like this one days are there. And this is the line, dotted line show the ultimate carbonaceous material, the ultimate carbonaceous BOD. And this one is the nitrogenous BOD. If you see, this is one curve. After a 5 days, what happened? There is a formation of this reaction, and you see the nitrogenous BOD is formed between this one. Okay, so from 5 or almost 6, okay, we can call 6 to almost the 15-20 days. And the if you see, this is the graph, and then they show the carbonaceous material only. So only the organic matter is decomposes during this one. So if you see the graph afterward, there is a combination of this one as well as this one. There is addition. Okay, so oxygen is consumed for this case, also for this case, and because of that one we are only stick up to this. Okay, this is all about nitrification test in the BOD1. Now we will look about the chemical oxygen demand. What do you mean by chemical oxygen demand? So other measures of the oxygen demand is the chemical oxygen demand, and this is very fast test. It is only required 2 to 3 hours for carried out this test. And if you look if you see a BOD, then BOD required up to the almost 5 days to get a result. So this is one we call a fast test that can be carried out to know how much is the oxygen is consumed, or how much is the organic matter present on the basis of the consumption of the oxygen in the sample. Okay, so chemical oxygen demand, which we also call COD. Okay, so during the COD determination, the total organic content of the waste is oxidized. Ultimately, what it is, the organic content to be oxidized by dichromate in acid solution. Okay, let's see in detail what exactly happening here in the COD test. What are the chemicals required and how the oxidize the oxygen which are present in the sample. So in this test, we would like to determine the oxygen requirement of the wastewater, and here we are adding a strong oxidizing agent, which is a potassium dichromate. So we use the strong oxidizing agent, that is a potassium dichromate, during this test. And also we use the acid and all. So let's see one. The second is this reaction required the acidic environment. So we have the we provided to the acid, just like we have add the sulfuric acid in it. So this is because why we are adding the acid in it, just because this reaction required acidic environment, which is accelerate the rate of reaction, which is accelerate the reaction. So it is a faster reaction rate is happen if we are adding the sulfuric acid in it. Okay, so this test is required up to the 120 to 150 degrees Celsius temperature. We are just use heated the sample for 2 hours with the silver sulfate as a catalyst. So we add the silver. These are the chemicals which is required for the testing test the COD. Okay, fine. Now, after the addition of it, some of the things are changed, and we can measure the how much is the oxygen is oxidized during this test. Okay, but one of the problem when we are taking this test, the one problem is that it is not only decomposing the organic. It is not say that all the oxidizable organic compounds, whether the biodegradable or not, all these are oxidized by the dichromate. So that is one thing happened in the COD test. We are not exactly know how much is the biodegradable the organic matter present. Okay, whatever be the things which is oxidized, it can be oxidized with the help of the COD test. Okay, we are not distinguish between the organic or some other part too, inorganic or biodegradable or non biodegradable, because when we are carried out the BOD test, when we are carried out the BOD test, that time we take the help of the microorganisms to decomposition of the matter. Now, obviously, these microorganisms only decomposing the organic one. They are not interested for the other, and that's why exactly we get the value of the organic substance which are present or biodegradable substance which are present in it. So this why we are carried out this reaction, the test. If the BOD is okay, we will get the accurate part. But why we are going for the or we preparing the COD? The one of the reason behind is that one is the fastest that we will get a result within 2-3 hours, and that is very good when we are working in the ETP plant and we continuously monitoring how much is the in and in influent concentration and how much is the outlet concentration or the effluent concentration after the treating the waste one. And for that one, definitely we will take the help of the COD test rather than the BOD one. Okay. So when we talk about the correlation between the BOD and COD, is there any correlation between the BOD and COD? Then we can say no. There is no correlation between the BOD and COD. We are not say that if we got the value of BOD is 200 and that is proportional to say the COD with having the 1000. No, we cannot say the correlate this one. There is no linear relationship between the BOD test and between the COD one. But yes, some of the things we are correlate on the basis of the what type of the waste it is. For example, it is mentioned if readily biodegradable waste such as a dairy waste. So if the industry, the dairy industry, where the waste is produces and that waste is the biodegradable one and it is easily biodegrade. And in this case, when we are correlate between the COD and BOD, then you will find it is around COD is equals to the BOD, that ultimate BOD upon 0.92. So that will be the relation between this one. But yes, it is only stick up to the dairy one or a biodegradable one. We are not take this correlation for the other two. Okay. Let's look at the other things between this. What is the correlation between the BOD and COD for a sewage? Now, as I said, we are not stick with the correlation between the BOD and COD, but yes, some of the matter which are present, and on that basis, we can say yes, we can correlate with this one, but we are not sure whether it is accurate or not. But for the testing purpose or when we are taking the number of samples and frequently you have to take the samples, that and definitely we will take these correlations for. So one of the correlations is showing in the figure. It is again by Handel and the letting in 1994. They make one correlation and that is for the sewage one. Okay. So what is that? So the x-axis is showing the time and the y-axis is showing the BOD to COD ratio. So what is it is a y-axis is BOD to COD ratio and the x-axis is showing the time. And for that one, they have correlations and the correlations are as this is the line is showing when there is the ratio between BOD ultimate to the COD is 0.87. And now as the time goes on, this ratio you see it is get differ and it may have between the 0.68 or between the 0.59. Okay. This data is generated or this graph is generated on the basis of the experiment carried out or done by these two people or for the sewage waste. Okay, and the conditions are mentioned here. The conditions are as if you see the conditions, then the correlation between the BOD COD at a 20 degrees Celsius in incubation and the rate constant BOD rate constant is around 0.23. Okay, and on that basis they are generating this graph and the data, or we call it as a correlation. Now, as I said, the COD is a faster determination, but does not give an idea about a nature of organic matter, whether it is a biodegradable or it is a biorefractory organic matter. So that is one of the drawback between these tests. So all the substance oxidize, and it will give that this much is the oxygen demand. So here we are mostly we are dependent on for the BOD test when we have only stick with the biodegradable organic fractions. If we know what is the amount of biodegradable organic matter, and for that one it is necessary to take a test of a BOD for a 5 day. Okay, and there is also some important develop correlation between the BOD and COD, or we can call BOD and TOC. This is total carbon, okay, or between the COD or TOC. Okay, so that correlations are available, but again, it is depend on what is the condition and what is the matter, the organic matter or whether what type of the waste it is on that one. It is depend. Now we will look about a theoretical oxygen demand. What I exactly mean by theoretical oxygen demand? We are calculating the experimental one. Okay, so with the help of the BOD and COD, we will find what will be the demand of it. But when we are doing the when there is a with the help of the reaction, that let's here one of the example is that we have the glucose, and how much is the oxygen demand, theoretical oxygen demand for decomposition of the glucose into the 6 molecules of the CO2 and 6 molecules of the water. Then you see that is the value of the theoretical oxygen demand is around 1.07. You know that how this is we calculate it. So how much is the amount of the oxygen, and how much is the amount of the glucose is there, and on that basis we will find how much is the theoretical oxygen required. So it is around 1.07 uh, is the value that is required for it. If you look at the TOC to COD correlation, then it is COD to TOC ratio is around 2.66 for this case. Okay, I'm talking about a glucose one. Okay, now this is the organic matter is the ratio between the COD to TOC ratio may be vary from it may be from 0 to 0.33. So the ratio between these two, that the chemical oxygen demand and total carbon, it is around 0 to 0.33. Fine. So this is all about the one test, which is one we look at the BOD one, and another one we have a COD. Okay. Now after that one, we will have another topic from this module. Let's see that one. Okay, first we will look about cell purification and all in natural streams, and after that one we will see oxygen sac curve. Okay, so this oxygen sac curve that we would like to study what exactly meaning of it. But before that, let's see about the factors affecting the cell purification. As you know that the river or the stream, which is naturally it is a flow, and in between there is a natural purification takes place, just like when there is a municipal sewage or the drainage where we are drain all the the water from the household use, and then once they reach to that main source, in between there is some purification processes carried out, because as they move there is a formation of the bacteria, and these bacteria do their work. Okay, just like the one of the example that I would like to give. If you have the 1 liter of the water and you are only put say 1 milligram of the waste into that one, then there is no impact or no harming, because all the matter the waste which you are put it into the 1 liter of the water, then that 1 liter of water have the sufficient amount of the volume that can be easily dissolved in it. And once it is a dissolve, there is no harming, or when you are looking what is the concentration of the organic waste or the waste present in it, then you will say it is a normal range, and in that case there is no problem. The same thing is happen when you are you just drain the water, the wastewater into the river. Then what happen, that itself have a natural purification process. So naturally, the organic the microorganisms, bacteria are present, and they start their work. And obviously, there is a naturally the oxygen, dissolved oxygen present in it. Naturally, it will be diffused from the environment. Okay, so there is no problem for the cell purification. But yes, if it is a excess one, then there is a problem, because a capacity is very important. Now, if in between say a 1 kilometer range, there is a only the one industry, and they are discharging their waste into the river. Now, as there is a length of the say for that industry to the other part, it will be the 1 kilometer, and between that one, if he is only introduced or discharging say the 10 liter of the waste per day or per hour, and if the rivers have that capacity to do the purification, to purification means decomposition of the that matter takes place, and it can be easily purified. It there is no harming to that river water, because only the one industry is present in between that range, and that range is sufficient for the cell purification. But instead of that one, if the another situation, that one we have the 1 kilometer length that river, and instead of the one industry, there are the 10 industries, and all the 10 industries they are discharging the 10 liter of the waste per hour. Then how much it is? If you say it is around 11 uh, say the 110 liters per hour discharge into the river. Now, what is the capacity of that river? That is the important. That is depend on the what is the volume of it, and how much is the bacteria, microorganisms present in it, how much is the dissolved oxygen present in it. On that basis, it is depend. Okay, so if you see here in this case, so the amount of dissolved oxygen in water is one of the most commonly used indicator of the river health. Okay, because if there is a deficiency of the oxygen, then definitely there is no chances of the microorganisms to grow. And if there is no microorganisms to grow, there is no chances of a cell purification, because naturally bacteria and microorganisms are present, and as that waste is a food for them, and definitely it will be grow. But for the growing again, oxygen is very important part. Okay, so let's see what are the factors that is affecting the cell purification. As we say, this is purification is carried out no problem. Even if you have a waste and you put it into in your bucket or in a vessel, and if after say 5 to 7 days, you will find some of the solid material which is settle easily at the bottom, and the water which you in the first day you see it is a very dirty, and after the 5 days you might be see that it is a very clean, because all the matters which is present in it, either it is settled solid material, or the material which are decomposable, that can be decomposed with the help of the bacteria, and all are settled down now. Now only the clean water that you get. Okay, that is what a cell purification. You can do it in your home too. You can collect the waste from your home. Okay, either it is a kitchen waste or the mostly you collect the kitchen waste, and you see what happened afterward. You will see that after 5 to 7 days, all the matter gets settled down, and it is naturally. We are not adding anything. We are not adding the microorganisms. We are not adding any food, but naturally it can be happen. But because it is obviously the concentration is very less, and we give the sufficient time to it for a decomposition of it. Okay, so let's see what are the factors which are affecting the cell purification. One of the factor that we talk about a dilution. Dilution is the one of the factor where it is affected the cell purification. Now, what is the dilution? You might be heard this word in the mass transport. The dilution, diffusion, dissolve. Okay, So what is the dilution? Dilution is what? The concentration of the waste. At that, how much you can dilute it. Already I gave the example of this. If you have 1 liter of the water and you are put it 1 milligram of the waste into it, then it can be easily diluted, because a quantity which we have and the quantity of the waste, it is a vast difference. If you see the ratio, it is 1 is to 100. It means definitely it will be 1 is to 1000. Sorry, then it will be easily diluted in it. Okay, so we call that when sufficient dilution of water is available in the receiving water bodies, where the wastewater is discharged, then the DO level in the receiving stream may not be reached to the zero or in a critical value. So there is a sufficient amount of the oxygen initially in the river, and even before the receiving the discharge of the water. So there is no problem for it. A dilution means the volume. How much is the volume? If you have a good volume, then there is no problem for discharging. That is the one thing. Second factors which are affecting the self purification is a current. Now, what do you mean by current? Current is not what we call the electricity. Okay, the current is here the flow of the water. When the strong water current is available, because of that, what happen? The wastewater will be thoroughly mixed with the stream. We know that we learn the laminar flow, a turbulent flow in a fluid flow operation, and then we know how the turbulent and laminar will be affected in the heat transfer one. So similarly here, when we call about the diffusion, or in that case, obviously a turbulent is very important. When there is a turbulency, a molecules rapidly they are moving from one place to another place, and there is a the good what we call the mixing takes place. And when there is a good mixing, definitely it will be it will give the advantage for the decomposition of it. So here what happened, when there is a strong water current is available, means the strong they would call the high flow rate, and because of that what happened, the discharge water will be thoroughly mixed with the stream water, which is preventing the deposition of the solid. One case. Second, if it is a small current, means the if it is a, say the laminar flow, slowly they are moving, then what happens? A solid matter from the wastewater will be deposited at the bed following the decomposition and reduction in the DO. So one thing is what, if it is deposited at one side, say there is the industry, say at zero length, okay, and the current of the river means the stream, it is say small one, it is a laminar flow. In that case what happened, whatever be the solid matter which are present in it, it will be easily settle at initial length. It may say it need a 1 kilometer for treating for a self purification, and it will give you a zero discharge afterward or concentration after 1 kilometer. But just because of the stream, the flow rate is very slow, and in that case maybe between the 200 meter, between the 100 meter, all the solid which is present are deposited in that area. So they are sediment in that area, and because of that what happen, only that 200 to 100 meter length, there is a more demand of the oxygen. Why? Because the all the solid matter which are settled, they are these matters are settled there in the 200 range, 0 to 200 meter range, and in that area only you require a more oxygen. But again there is a limitation of the dissolved oxygen, because we know that only the 9 milligram per liter will be the highest number that is present, and you are not artificially you are introducing the oxygen or diffusing the oxygen into that body. So what happened? There is a deficiency of the oxygen. So current is also one of the factor which are affecting the self purification. It means if there is a good current, means that there is a highest flow rate, then what happen? Some of the solid material may be settle at 200, some of the solid material may be settle at 300, 400. So there is a equal distribution and equal mixing takes place. And some of the solid material may not be given the chance for the settling, and so there is a equal distribution is happened between the say 0 to 1 kilometer range, and that 1 kilometer range is sufficient for the discharge that can be easily purified. Means all the matter which is present can be easily decomposed. Are you getting my point? So this is one of the example that we can say the current is impacting self purification. The third factor that we will discuss, it is the temperature. Okay, so one factor is the dilution. So sufficient amount of the volume is very important. You can even do the experiment in your home. The current is the important part that will be the impacting. Okay, you can say that is whether it is a laminar or it is a turbulent flow, and how the mixing is going on takes place, and it will be the give the advantage for the purification, or it may have the disadvantage too. The third point is the temperature. Now, how the temperature is impacting on the purification. Now, what is the relation between the cell purification and we call it as the temperature? So, if you see here, the quantity of DO, that is the dissolved oxygen available in the stream water, is more in the cold temperature. When we have the correlation, the when we are the comparing between the cold temperature and the hot temperature. Now you will find that the DO is available more in the cold temperature. I am not saying that it is at 400 degrees Celsius, sorry, 4 degrees Celsius. No, the cold temperature means around the temperature, say the 15 to 20. Okay, that is the ideal temperature that we will look out. Then the hot temperature. If the temperature rises, then it will have the less DO present. Okay, so ultimately what happened? The microorganisms, activity of the microorganisms is more at a higher temperature. Hence, the cell purification will be takes less time at a hot temperature than in a winter. Now there is a two conditions. The one condition is what? A DO availability is more in the cold temperature than the hot temperature. And the second condition is what? Activity of the microorganisms will be the more in the higher temperature than the lower temperature. Okay, it means if there is a sufficient amount of the dissolved oxygen present in it, and if we can maintain a temperature, I'm not talking about higher temperature means the 100 200, no. High temperature is around, say, the mostly the bacteria are active between, say, a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius to the 35 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, they are more active, so we have to adjust the temperature accordingly. Even I am talking about in a plant. So if you in a river, then definitely it is not in our hand. It is depend on what is the season of it. So whether it is a winter, whether it is a summer, or it is a rainy season. Okay, that will be the impact. So, but yes, a cell purification is also impacting a temperature. It can be impact on the dissolved oxygen, and also it is impacting on the activity of the microorganisms. So this is one of the factor which can affect the cell purification. The fourth factor which we talk about sunlight. Now, what is the impact of sunlight? What is the direct correlation of the sunlight into the cell purification? So, if you see here, what is the use of the sunlight? The first is what? Algae produces the oxygen in presence of the sunlight, and you know the what are the reaction? Reaction is photosynthesis. Now, algae is the one of the plant. It can produce the oxygen, and for producing the oxygen, the algae required a sunlight. So in the presence of the sunlight, because of the photosynthesis, there is a formation of the oxygen. And we know that what is the requirement of oxygen? All the oxygen is not diffused from the atmosphere. It may be the diffuse at a certain length. But what if in the depth one? Okay. So the one of the plant, we know that plant are producing the oxygen, and obviously if it is oxygen itself produces it at the bed of the river, then what happen? Slowly it can be diffused into the water, and it is very easily it can be diffused. So sunlight, one of the factors we can say there is a more when there is algae, when there is a more sunlight, there is a formation of the photosynthesis, and there is a production of the oxygen, and this oxygen is diffused into the water bodies, and because of the availability of the sufficient oxygen present in it, the microorganisms can be live, and it can be at the rate is increases too. So here we can say the sunlight helps in the purification of the stream by addition of oxygen through the photosynthesis. Okay, so this is the fourth factor. And what is the fifth and last one? It is rate of oxidation. Now, how we correlate the rate of oxidation and the cell purification of the water? So let's see. Due to the oxidation of the organic matter which is discharged in the river, DO depletion occurs. We know that when we are discharging the initially, let's see the example. that there is no discharge the waste into the river. Now take the example of the Ganga. There is no industries and they are not discharging waste, so it is a zero waste. So the oxygen level is very high in that river. But now we are discharging the waste, the organic matter into the river. As because of the industrialization, the lots of industries are formed, and because of that one, there is a they are discharging the the organic matter or the waste into the river directly. Now, what is the impact? Obviously, when you are adding the organic matter, the microorganisms already present in it, and they start their work. They start consumption of the food, that is organic matter. And when they are starting consumption food for the living, they require the oxygen, and ultimately there is a deflection of oxygen. Okay, so we say that due to the oxidation of the organic matter in the river, the DO is deflected, and this rate is faster at a higher temperature. As we discussed earlier in the third point, it is the rate is faster at a higher temperature, and it is a low at a lower temperature. The rate of oxidation of this organic matter depends on the chemical composition of the organic matter. So here we can say the rate of oxidation is impacting the cell purification. Okay, so these are the 5 points which are which can be which are affecting the cell purification one. I again repeat, the one is the dilution, the current, temperature, sunlight, and rate of oxidation. Again, when I am talking about the current, don't confuse. I am not talking about the electrical current. I am talking about the what is the flow, how much is the volumetric flow of the river or the water which are flowing. Okay, so one dilution factor, it is related to the volume, current related to the flow pattern, temperature, it is impacting the DO as well as the microorganisms, sunlight which are directly impacting on the plant, and that plant maybe the produces the oxygen, and it get dissolved in the bodies, water bodies. And the last point, it is the rate of oxidation. Fine. So in the next lecture, we will look about the oxygen sac curve. What do you mean by oxygen sac curve? And we have the one derivation related to this one. But before that, we will see the definition of the oxygen sac curve or the oxygen sag analysis. We have one graph, and we can read this graph what exactly it's showing in this graph. Okay, and after that one, we will look about one small derivation related to this one. Okay, but that all this we will see in the next class. Thank you.